Rise and shine, superstar. You're watching Provoking Purpose with Lele and Nsibande.
Rise and shine, superstars, and welcome back to another episode of Provoking Purpose with Lele and Nsibande. If you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe down below, and if you haven't already subscribed but you are not new, make sure that you do that too. Make sure that you like and comment and share this video with a friend. And with that said, we are going to get into the video. So in today's video, I really would like to cover the topic of fear of losing affirmation and sources of approval that are costing you your dreams and life's aspirations. So personally, I've never really struggled with what I'm about to cover in this video because I have never really been the favorite child. I've never really been the child that was like perfect. You guys know what I'm talking about. I just happened to be one of the children who were not necessarily the top tier children, if you get what I'm saying. I was never really one of the children that was like daddy's perfect angel, mommy's perfect angel. I was the rebel. I was the one that caused havoc. I was the one that parents would call in the middle of the night on some, where are our children? They've escaped their rooms again. They've snuck out. Oh, teenage girls. I was a problematic child, and I will put that out there straight up. But there is some good that came from that because I have never struggled with the fear of disappointing my parents because I have already done so much of that. I do not feel addicted to their love as an affirmation. I do not feel afraid to step out of their good books because I have been there most of my life. And it's not to say my parents don't love me or not to say my parents don't care about me. Of course they do. But I have never been afraid to be my own person despite them having expectations of the type of girl child that they would like to have. So going after what matters to me, I know that they are so used to me not being what they want me to be that I have created the freedom for myself to be all that I can be without fear of losing their love or gaining their disapproval. Now I'm going to read the scripture for you because it is such a tongue twister for me. I have tried to say it on and off camera over and over again and I just keep on getting it wrong, so I'm going to put it up on the screen and I'm going to read it at the same time. So Mark 6 verse 4 says, "A prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, among his own kin, and in his own house." And essentially what that speaks about is that we as people who are going after whatever it is that God has placed in our hearts will not be recognized as excellent by the people who are around us, but most probably by the people who do not know us yet. A lot of people who are DJs and rappers can actually relate to that. I've seen a lot of tweets and a lot of people saying that when they were on the come up, people from their own hood were not recognizing them as talented people. They were just like, this one, this one, this one. But as soon as the outside world was like, yo, this person is explosively talented, then they were like, what? Anyways, they came from our hood. They came from our hood, you know? And it's just so crazy how most people would read that scripture and think that was just relevant to the context, and then you look at people who have been successful over time and realize that it is a principle of life, that whenever you try to go after something, the people who are closest to you probably will not back you, and that is okay. It is not a affirmation of the fact that you're not supposed to go after it. It is indeed a fact that you have greatness within you that you need to go and pursue, but you just need to block out the noise of the people who are closest to you. Somebody on Twitter once said that the reason why this phenomena happens is because people who know you and are used to you have struggles seeing you as a higher version of yourself because it reminds them that they have not outgrown who they used to be, number one. And number two, them trying to understand you as a completely different person is just difficult. It's just difficult in general, right? So you cannot blame people for that experience. You just have to acknowledge the fact that you need to keep on your grind somewhere else. Stop looking to the people who are around you for affirmation of what God is looking to do in your life. So really quickly, I'm going to cover 3 fears that could possibly be holding you back from walking in your purpose. This first one, I have basically already covered it in the introduction introduction to the video. But the first fear is the fear of disappointing your parents, right? Your parents are their own people who were children at some point and did have their own aspirations, and you do not need to carry the burden of them not fulfilling all that they wanted to be in your own life. But at the end of the day, you are your own person that God has created with intention, with divine intention. You are a puzzle in God's picture, right? And you need to be where you are supposed to be in order for the picture to look right, in order for the picture of the world to not be distorted. I've said this in my previous videos. The world needs you to walk in your purpose in order for it to be functional. We need doctors with a passion for medicine to be in the hospitals because their passion will drive them to heal our bodies and to diagnose us the correct way. We need Beyonce on stage because her gift is so particular that her excellence allows us to have good music. If we had people who did not want to do what they were doing, we would have people doing half jobs and half the quality of what we currently get to enjoy. So you need to acknowledge the fact that despite your parents being disappointed in you not being what they thought you would be, it is vital for your happiness, for your life, for your peace, for your enjoyment of this life. There is nothing more painful than living a life that you feel like does not belong to you. So you have to make peace with the fact that you're going to disappoint them. But because they love you, they will come around eventually. God has a perfect plan for your life. It does not look perfect, but it will be perfect in the fact that everything will always come together for your good because you love God and are walking in purpose. Even them rejecting you in the beginning will build something within you that God is going to use for you on a higher level of where you have been called to be. So the first fear of disappointment, let that go, release it. Understand that you will always disappoint people, always, always, always. But at the end of the day, the most important person is yourself. Are you disappointing yourself by chasing things that do not belong to you? Or are you making yourself proud? Are you doing what's pleasing to God by going after what makes you happy? So the second fear is the fear of differentiation, and that fear actually comes from, I would say more specifically, your friend groups. So when you hang out with a lot of people who are very alike in their passions and in the things that they like, you kind of feel like you are going to be completely ostracized and pushed out if you take the chance of becoming someone else. And I know that I particularly experienced this fear because I have friends who live a particular lifestyle and who identify with a particular part of the culture. And although I still do look like I identify in that way, I know that they have recognized the shift in my life and the shift in my spirit, and I've recognized that too, that I have shifted into someone else because I have this desire to become something other than what I used to be. Now, lucky for me, I never went through the whole ostracizing and being made to feel like I'm left out or being made to feel like I'm weird. I was supported and I was embraced by my friends, and I really am grateful for that. But that is not everybody's experience, right? And I need you to know that even if your friends do not embrace you, that is part of God's plan, and God will always send people that He believes are meant for you and your purpose to embrace exactly what God has placed inside of you. Do not be afraid of being different. Embrace it. Do not be afraid of being outstanding. Embrace it. Yes, you are going to be separated, but yes, you are going to be aligned with people who do look like where you are trying to go. God will never leave you or forsake you. God will never leave you alone to the point where you do not have company, you do not have people to walk with you on where you are trying to go. This last fear is the fear of commitment and fear of failure. I just want to let you know that if it is your purpose, life will seem meaningless without it. I look at myself in the mirror sometimes, or I just lie in my bed at night and I just speak to God and say, God, if I'm not going to have the life that you've placed in my heart, kill me right now. I would rather just die, because anything other than what you have given me in my mind is useless to me. It feels empty. It feels like it's not worth living. And that's how I know that that is my purpose, because everything that I am feels like it is leading up to that point in time where I am walking in what God has called me to walk in. Obviously, in the beginning of it, I was not walking around town feeling like this is me, this is exactly what I'm happy to do with the rest of my life, because I was scared. When I first discovered my purpose, I was scared. I felt like this was so unreal. I felt like, how could it be? I'm 20 years old and I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I know exactly who I'm supposed to be. Is this a prank? Am I crazy? You know, why me? Why has God chosen me for this? Look at me. These are all the things that are wrong with me. It can't be me. I'm probably going to fail at this thing. So I understand if you're feeling feelings of not wanting to commit because you're afraid to fail and you're afraid to look like a failure in front of your peers and people who love you and are telling you to not go after whatever it is that God has placed inside of you. But I also want you to know that there will come a time where you feel like the only failure that you could possibly have in life is that of dying before the world knows who you are and what you have to give. You are going to be afraid. You will always be afraid to step out on purpose, but I want you to know that it's what you decide to do with that fear. If you decide to allow it to box you in and dictate the life that you live, you are going to feel miserable. You're going to feel like you are not exercising who you are. You are going to feel depressed. You're going to feel constrained. Your life is going to suck. I want you to know that God has chosen you specifically for whatever it is that He has given you in vision or in your spirit, because He knows that you can do it, okay? And I believe in you. I believe in your greatness. I know that you are not here to be mediocre. I know that you are not here to die as just another person that people can just say, oh, this person was kind. No. People need to feel like they need to mourn you because they've mourned a great loss from humanity. That is the scale of your purpose. That is what your purpose is supposed to do. That is the impression that it is supposed to make on humanity. So I'm going to leave this video right here. I know I've given you a lot to think about. I hope you enjoy your week going forward and become more intentional about your purpose, and do not allow fear to control you, and just embrace who you are, even in the smallest of ways. Les Brown says if you just do a little bit of it every single day, you will see it become a big thing, or something like that. Anyways, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with a friend, and I will see you in my next one.